Welcome back, beautiful and amazing people. Dr. Genzo here with another duel video for you. Today we have myself on the right playing Sharks versus Chris from actually Team A. You might recognize him from some videos with Team APS on the left playing LIBROMANCER. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with the Piri race map here with a beautiful princess being searched, costing half of my life points there to do that. Now the funny thing about that map though is that it's great. You have to activate it at the start of main phase, but if they ash it, you don't have to pay the half. You only pay the half if the effect resolves, if you get the search. And also you cannot activate any effects of monsters or anything like that until you normal summon the monster that you searched off that. What you want to do with Beautiful Princess, which you'll banish yourself to then special summon a fish from the deck, a level 4 or lower, I believe, or just level 4, I'm not quite sure. And then, you'll see the effect on the screen. And then Buzzsaw Shark's going to be activated now, targeting himself, putting a LIBROMANCER Fire down first, but then thinking better of putting down a Ghost Ogre instead. Now, here's a misplay on my part. Very early on, I know you're going to call me on it in the comments, so I'm just going to nip it in the bud now. If you Ghost Ogre a Buzzsaw Shark, the effect does not go through because the target that you use for the effect of Buzzsaw is no longer on the board, therefore it cannot resolve. I did not know this at the time. Chris, I guess, also did not know this at the time. And so we just let the effect resolve there, and the game will continue from there. But it did make for an interesting match, so I guess take that for what it is. So we're going to go into a right-hand Shark now, and then we're going to special summon an Abyss Shark from the hand since we control Water Monster. And that's also going to let us search. Now that effect can also be Ash because it is a special summon from the hand on top of a search as well. Abyss Shark, one of the newer cards for Sharks, a very good card in my opinion, as well as getting a Crystal Shark from the deck off that effect. Crystal Shark can special summon itself from the graveyard or hand. It's just Sharks just have so much extension here, folks. So many ways to just put bodies on the board in order to go into your extra deck. It is just an insane deck in and of its own right. Special summoning that Crystal Shark now, targeting the right-hand Shark summoned off the Buzzsaw. And then we're going to special summon a Silent Angler from the hand since we have a Water Monster. That'll make it to where we cannot go into waters or we cannot special summon from the hand for the rest of the turn. Sorry, I have diarrhea of the mouth in this video here. But that will make it to where we cannot special summon from the hand for the rest of the turn since we special summon the Silent Angler. But we already have all the bodies that we need now. Hope he doesn't have a nib here. But anyways, we're going to go into Bahamut Shark now. Detached for effect. It looks like he doesn't have a negate for it, so we're going to go into totally awesome off that Bahamut Shark, giving us one negate on the board just in case he did have that nib and didn't activate it at the right time or something. And then we're going to go into Stealth Kraken. Stealth Kraken, also one of the newer water cards. Very good Xyz, makes everything on the board water. And once returned during the main phase, during other player's turn, you can quick effect pop something without targeting, and he also does damage off that pop. Now, Goes in Match being activated in standby here. That comboing of Kraken making everything water is going to be fantastic because that means he can only go into water monsters once he puts one body on the board, which LIBROMANCERs like to put many bodies on the board. So now he's going to activate a Preparation of Rites in the main phase. Going to go grab a Ritual Monster, level 7 or lower, and let's see what he decides to grab here. Going to go ahead and grab a LIBROMANCER Doombroker, putting that in the hand, and let's see if he can play through this Gozen Match. Attempting to now reveal the Doombroker for the effect of LIBROMANCER Fire in the hand. Fire's going to special summon himself and then get a search on his own summon. Deciding if we want to use the Toad effect here not to negate that search, but it's fine since we think our Gozen Match will stay on the board here because that LIBROMANCER Fire is now water and he has to go into a water monster while that's on the board, because of the fact of Kraken making everything water and Gozen Match saying you can only control water. You can only control one attribute, and Kraken making everything water makes it to where you can only control water. So now he's going to add a Geek Boy to hand off the LIBROMANCER Fire. LIBROMANCER is very good right now. Very solid deck choice. Not like tier 1 or tier 0 or anything like that, but they're definitely a solid deck choice, especially if you're into playing control and rituals, but you don't want to play the Drytrons right now. It's a very good substitute for that. You do have to play stuff like the Brave Engine in it and other stuff like that in order to kind of lift the deck up to a degree because the deck is not very good pure, but at the same time, it is very fun to play. Now at the end of main phase, Kraken's going to pop that Fire for 900 damage since Fire is 1800 attack drawn for turn off that, and let's see if we can try and do game here. 2,600 off the Bahamut, 22 off the Toad, and 19 off Kragan swinging. Don't want to risk anything. We want to put that damage on the board when we can. But with what I have in the hand here, you can probably tell that I probably could have gone for game there, especially since he's open. But we do want to be a little bit more cautious. This is a control deck, so you never know what he's got in the hand, no matter what hand traps that he might have. Now we're going to special summon that Abyss Shark from the hand. The Abyss Shark's going to search again since we do control a water monster. And when he's special summoned, well, you activate the effect in the hand to special summon, and it also searches. That's all one effect. It's like the Sword Soul Longyuan, making the token as part of the hand effect, not another effect when he's put on the board. Lifeless Leaf Fish is going to be summoned. Going to dump a fish from the deck off its own effect. Let's see what we decide to dump here. Might be another Crystal Shark, might be something different, might be a right hand, you never know. Speaking of which, right hand shark very good as well because it keeps what is exeized with it from being killed by battle. So you can have a Dweller that just can't be killed by battle. Plus Dweller very good in this deck, as you're going to see here. Going to summon it right here. Dweller very, very good in this deck because it does give all your waters 500 attack as long as it has a water material under it, which is very, very good. Not itself, all of your waters, including itself. So those people trying to summon Pank to swing over some stuff, not really going to work in some circumstances. Going to activate the Dweller in standby, and let's see if he has an answer for that. Activating the Geek Boy in the hand, now special summoning himself by revealing the Doom Broker. You'll notice all the Libromancers have that effect. You reveal a ritual monster in the hand to summon themselves. And then they all have effects on summon. Geek Boy adds a spell or trap. Fire adds a monster. It's very, very good deck, very synergistic. It does not need their normal summon, and in fact, they don't get their effects on their normal summon. They only get it whenever they're special summoned. And Geek Boy is also psychic, so you can E-Tele him out, which is another very strong attribute of the deck. So he's going to add a Libromancer first appearance to the hand, which is their field spell. And he's just going to realize he can't really do much there. We're just going to go to game 2. Game 2 here, Chris is going to start us off. Looks like he's got a interesting hand there. Not the best, but he'll definitely make do with what he's got here. You see a Shared Ride in there. That's a pretty interesting side choice there. Songon now being activated, or summoned. Linking it off now into Link 1. Probably going to go into an Almirage here, eyeing that Almirage, and yes, indeed, he's going to go ahead and go into the Almirage. Songon's effect's going to trigger, letting him add to hand a monster called Crusadia Arborea. Now, Crusadia Arborea very good, and it's not an activated special summon, it's just a regular special summon. So Songon's effect of not being able to activate the effects of monsters that you search off it does not apply to her because it's not an activated effect of special. She just puts herself down on the board. And also that means your opponent can't respond to her being special summoned from the hand. They can only respond to the summon itself. Linking her off now, and the Almars are going to a Crystron Halcafabrax, or a Needle Fiber, if you want to call it that. Very good card, especially because Arborea is a tuner, so you can go into the Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber is going to put out a Jet Synchron because he is now off the ban list. The boy is back, the level 1 boy that just loves to keep bringing himself back over and over again, depending on the deck that you're playing. So we're going to link him off now into Link Haribo here. Just the link climbing is insane in this deck, and he's not even summoned a Libromancer yet. So now he's going to attempt to use Jet Synchron's effect, pitching off a card from hand. He's going to pitch off a Draco back, so we know he's playing Brave Engine in here now. Linking off those two to go into an Artifact Dagda, and we also know that now that he's playing the Scythe Lock as well. Very control-y deck, a lot of engines here, but again, that's what Libromancers need in order to contend. And them by themselves are also, to a degree, their own engine. Very, very good. It's basically based Libromancers to a degree. Setting 2 here now. Going to go into standby. Halcafabrax is going to activate, chaining Dagda. So Dagda is going to set an artifact before Halcafabrax can summon something off its own effect. Looks like he's going to grab an Artifact Scythe here. We kind of saw that coming. Morale Tech not really conducive to this situation, or this format rather. So looks like he's going to then go into a Tuner Synchro with the Halcafabrax here. He's going to go into a TG Wonder Magician. Wonder Magician's going to pop that Scythe on her summon. And then the Scythe is going to activate in the grave, special summoning itself. and then activating on the field to make it to where I cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Very good combo there indeed. And then also now he's going to use TG Wonder Magician's effect on the Resolution of Scythe to synchro summon, because they are both 5s, into a Barone here. Very, very good play there. Very, very interesting combination, and just really cool interactive combination there. So he's got the Scythe lock out. He's got the Barone out for a negate as well. He's locked the opponent with the Scythe. He has 1 negate for anything that the opponent might do to mess with his field. And it's just, he's sitting pretty right now. As a Fury of Kairyu is activated to add a Torrential to the hand, and then Shared Ride's going to be chained to that to let him draw every time I search my deck this turn. Very, very good side option, I'd say, Shared Ride. It kind of takes the place of Mystic Mind to a degree, in that Mystic Mind buys you time to draw cards to figure stuff out, but also Shared Ride kind of lets you draw cards to your opponent. Also messes with their turn as well, because they probably won't want to. Now, Evenly Matched is going to go into battle phase here and try and banish his board, but Barone's obviously going to say no to that. Baiting out the Barone negate to see if we can do something here. Looks like we're just going to have to set some cards here. Setting 2 and passing the turn. Looks like we set a D-Barrier there. That's another side option for this deck, since D-Barrier, Dimensional Barrier, also hits Ritual, as well as Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz and Pendulums. It also hits Rituals, so remember that if you're playing against Drytron there, folks. Barone is going to use his effect now to pop the monster. He does get a pop once per turn. Very good card, that Barone. 3,000 attack and negate on the board. He's only once while he's faceable on the field, though, so you do have to resummon him every time you want to use a negate with him. But 4,500 off the Dagda and the Barone swinging. Looks like he might not have another Scythe there. Otherwise, he would have used Dagda's effect to set it from the deck off the activation of the Barone effect. Now, during standby, Barone's going to activate now to put himself back in the extra deck to summon back the Scythe on my standby. Once again, the Scythe is going to be locking me for this turn as well. Just crazy. The Torrential's going to be chained to the summon to blow up his whole board there. And then Dagda's going to summon back the Scythe. But the Scythe lock has already occurred. The Torrential does not negate that Scythe. And it is just, man, that Barone play is just fantastic. Again, just, I was flabbergasted whenever this happened. It's just a fantastic play there. And looks like we top decked in another D-Barrier. Not sure how much that's going to help us against this lock that he's got going on here, but we'll try and make do with what we've got. Normal summoning a Lantern Shark now from the hand. Looks like we're going to opt to not use its effect, though. Activating a Bishark in the hand to special summon itself and then search. And you'll notice that Chris did indeed have an Ash in the hand, and that card can be Ash Blossomed. But instead he's going to opt for Shared Ride here. Once again, that draw being more important than denying me the search here, which, to be fair, he's really got nothing to worry about here with denying me the search, because of the fact that, again, he's got the Scythe lock, so not really going into the bread and butter of my deck here, which is the extra deck. And then the Shared Ride is going to let him add to hand, or draw every time I add to hand for this turn. Adding a Buzzsaw Shark to hand off the effect of Bishark. Basically betting on surviving another turn here before we can do anything else, because that Buzzsaw Shark's a starter. Seeing if we can survive another turn here under this pressure, or if we're going to go to game 3. So Chris is now going to draw for the turn after cutting the deck, and he's going to put that Scythe right into attack mode, because that thing is 2,200 in the chest, and it can run over a lot of stuff on the board. So next up, he's going to eye a card in his hand, activating an Illusion of Chaos in the hand, or actually revealing an Illusion of Chaos to special summon Geek Boy. My apologies. Geek Boy's effect's now going to activate on its own summon to search for a Libromancer spell or trap. Looks like he's going to grab the Libromancer First Appearance, the field spell that searches a monster on activation, and also basically lets him ritual summon as many times as he wants in his turn. Great, great field spell for that deck. Next up, he's going to activate it. Looks like he's eyeing it. Yes, indeed, he does decide to activate it. Activating it, attempting to get a search off of it. And let's see what he grabs. Adding now a Libromancer Doombroker to the hand. Doombroker, very good card for the deck. Basically lets you set any Libromancer spell trap from your deck that you want, on top of being able to attack directly. And if he does damage the opponent, I believe he sends a card on the field to the graveyard. So just a very good card all around. Level 7 or level 6 ritual. I believe he's a level 6, but I could be wrong about that. But next up, he's going to attempt to activate the field spell to ritual summon. Dimensional Barrier is going to be chained to that to call rituals, so he cannot summon a ritual monster for the rest of the turn. Now, he does have those other engines in his deck, but we don't really want to have to deal with Libromancers right now. So, Libromancer is going to be kind of off the board for the time being, to a degree. Well, off the list of things that we have to worry about here. But we still have to worry about all those other engines that he's running. Next up here, he's going to activate the effect of the Illusion of Chaos that he revealed off the Geek Boy in order to add a Magician's Souls to the hand. So we know he's also playing the Magician's Souls engines. Again, a lot of engines in this deck, but the Libromancers help lend themselves to that by special summoning themselves to a degree. Kind of like a 3-axis deck, if you will. Very, very good, solid, controlled deck with all these engines. A lot of negates that it can put out, a lot of back row that it can put out. Just very good overall. You see how that Scythe Lock's basically making the opponent shake a little bit. Activating the Magician's Souls now to special summon themselves by sending the top card of the deck to the graveyard. He's going to send that Illusion of Chaos that he top decked off its own effect now. And then, depending on what he wants to do, he can use that as link material. He can use the effect to draw 2. There are a lot of things that Magician's Souls can indeed do, and they just got a reprint in the Legendary Duelist Season 3, so make sure you pick up your copy soon, because they are already jumping up in price. Now, it looks like he's going to send the field spell and the other field spell to draw 2 off the effect of Magician's Souls. Very good play there. And the Rite of Aram Seer is now going to be activated. Now we're going to have to worry about Brave here. Again, that Dimensional Barrier not really affecting him too much in this turn due to all those engines that he's running. But indeed, it is lending him power in this turn here. So he's going to put that token down and put down a Faithful Adventure that he actually open-handed. He either open-handed it or drew that. Either way, not a very good thing to see in your hand. You definitely want that to stay in the deck if it can, especially if you're playing right. But at the same time, it's not really affecting him too much here as it goes into an IP Masquerena. Then the Faithful Adventure is going to trigger, but instead it is not going to trigger because he realizes that he puts the Draco back for the Jet Synchron earlier. And then now he's going to use the effect of Faithful Adventure to search for the Griffin. The Griffin's going to allow him to have an Omni Negate on the board. It also is a quick effect to summon itself from the hand. So if you want to do anything, you better do it on the resolution of that token being summoned, or else you're in for a bad time. Pitching off the Doombroker now for the effect of the Griffin, and we're just going to go to game 3 here. Not really much I could do about that. Those 2 Scythe Locks were a little bit too powerful for the current game state there. Now, game 3, we're going to start off with a Lifeless Leaf Fish on my side of the board. Lifeless Leaf Fish is going to let us dump. No Ash Blossom to negate this little guy, as he's going to dump a Crystal Shark to the grave. Very good that you can just basically dump an extender with Lifeless Leaf Fish. Or if you want to set up for future turns, you can also dump a Right-Hand Shark, because Right-Hand Shark can summon itself if you control no other monsters. So Abyss Shark's not going to be activated. Seeing Abyss Shark a lot in these games, that's very good. Sometimes when I play this deck, I never see that card. Well, actually, a lot of the time when I play this deck, I never see that card, unfortunately. And it is a 3 of. You definitely want to play 3 of that, because it's adding to the hand's Silent Angler, as well as putting itself out on the board there. So putting Silent Angler onto the field, and actually special summoning it off its own effect now. So we're locked out of special summoning from the hand, so it looks like we don't have any other extenders from the hand that we need to worry about this turn. But now we're just going to go back into that Bahamut Shark, detach him for effect, just in case he's got that Nibiru, and going right into a Totally Awesome here. Very good play, very nice play. Totally Awesome going to be very viable come this weekend. Speaking of which, going to be live streaming the pre-release this weekend, so make sure you check me out on Twitch. My link will be in the description below. Crystal Shark now being activated, targeting the Abyss Shark to basically, I believe, have its attack and then summon itself. Either way, it doesn't matter, because it is indeed going to be used as material to go into another Xyz there. They are both level 5s, but they can be used as 3s or 4s for the Xyz summon of a water monster. See what we go into. We're actually going to go into a Nash Knight. Old Kevin Nash here. Nash Knight, very good card, especially for a newer card, a super rare as well. Very, very nice card. It basically is a 101 on either player's turn, and it doesn't target, which is just... it's a fantastic card, let me tell you what. And also you can use it as overlay material for the CXZ's version, because the CXZ's version just basically says you can overlay on top of it, which is also very, very good. They did very good in this new water set that they put out, I gotta say. Now, Chris is going to play his turn now. Looks like he drew for turn right here. And let's just see what we got going on. Activating the effect of Libromancer Geek Boy in the hand here, revealing an illusion of chaos in order to summon himself. Let's see if there's any response here. Looks like there is none. The Geek Boy is now going to search for a spell or trap. Looks like we're going to save that Toad for just the right occasion. You never know, because he is running a lot of those engines. And if we have the right Floodgate cards in the back, we won't have to worry about Libromancers this game as well. So Libromancers are going to add or Geek Boy rather, is going to add the first appearance field spell to the hand. And let's see what he decides to do with that. Activating the field spell now. The field spell is going to let him search a monster. Looks like that's going to go through as well. He's probably going to add the Doombroker to hand. Doombroker, very good card for Libromancers here. Let's see if he decides to grab that. Or maybe grab a Libromancer Fire, which would let him have another body and also grab the Doombroker as well. But it looks like he's going to add the Doombroker regardless. Doombroker, again, very good card. Lets you put out basically an Omni Negate from your deck on the board. Or with that new trap that they just released, also basically a Snatch Steal. They also have a Snatch Steal trap. And it's not a continuous trap. It's a... So... if they pop the trap, you still basically keep their monster, and you keep it permanently if you return a ritual monster with its effect. Look it up. It's called Libromancer Displacement, I believe. Now, attempting to activate the field spell here to ritual summon, but a Dimensional Barrier is then going to be activated once again, seeing that Dimensional Barrier a lot Game 2 and Game 3, to call rituals, so he cannot summon ritual monsters for the rest of this turn. However, he is not locked out of Links, Synchros, Xyz, or Fusions, so he can definitely still go into his extra deck. It's not like a Scythe lock yet. Illusion of Chaos is now going to be activated, attempting to add a Magician Souls to the hand. And that effect is indeed going to go through. Now attempting to use the effect of Magician Souls in order to send the top card of the deck to the graveyard, special summon itself, and let's see if he decides to use the draw effect, or just have that extra body on the board for linking or synchroing. However, Magician Souls is indeed not a tuner, so you never know. Now, you'll notice here that he might be running Relinquished Anima. However, the placement of zones really matters in this game due to cards like Relinquished Anima. Because of the fact that he might be running it, you see the placement of my monsters. He cannot take one if he does indeed go into Anima. But now Magician Souls 4, you can attempt to even use the effect of draw, where you're going to use the Nash Knight here to put a number monster between 101 and 107 under him, and then any monster on the field under him as well, non-targeting. So we're going to put that Magician Souls and a C101 under him, because it doesn't specify that it can't be a C number. It just has to be a number monster with a number between 101 and 107 in its name. So we're going to take that Magician Soul so he cannot draw off it, and let's see if he has any other engines in here to try and capitalize off the effect of Nash Knight being used. Yes, indeed, he's going to use the Water Enchantress to grab a Rite of Aramesir. And now, let's see if that Rite of Aramesir is going to go through. Looks like he's going to attempt to activate it here. Now attempting to activate the Rite of Aramesir, let's see if the Toad is going to be used in this regard, or if we're going to save it for something else here. Looks like the Toad is indeed going to be used here to basically negate and destroy, and then set the right to my board, and then the Toad effect in the graveyard is also going to trigger to put himself or a water monster back into the deck, or the hand rather, I believe. So seeing what we want to put back, we're just going to put back the Toad, since we do have that Bahamut Shark left of 1 material, and you can detach again to summon that Toad once again if it stays on the board. Activating the effect of Doombroker in the hand now to summon a activating the effect of Libromancer Agent in the hand now, revealing the Doombroker to summon himself. He is a level 6, and he gets something back from the grave on summon. However, there's nothing in the grave for him to add back. All that he has in grave is that Illusion of Chaos. Gonna now attempt to link 2 here, going into an IP Masquerena. Masquerena is gonna let him basically set up a link monster during my turn, unless he has other plans in mind. Looks like he's gonna normal summon that Songon. And let's see if he actually decides to go into Link 3 here. Going into Link 1 off the Songon there. Going into Salmangrate Almirage. Songon now going to activate in the grave. And then Call by the Grave is going to be chained to banish the Songon, negating its effect as well. Linking off the IP Masquerena. And indeed the Almirage now to go into Link 3 here. Looks like he's going to go into a Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn is now going to use its effect to discard a card in the hand to target another card on the board and then banish it. Or not banish it, send it back to the deck. My apologies. Pitching off the Doombroker now to target a monster and put it back into the deck. Looks like he's going to decide between the Nightmare Shark and the Nash Knight. Very tough call there, but it looks like he is indeed going to go for the Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark going to be put back into the deck. and the Nash Knight is going to stay on the board. Let's see if he has anything else to try and play through this field. And looks like he might not have. And remember, we do have that Rite of LIBROMANCER set, so we can actually use that to put a 2K token on the board if we so choose. Now, drawing for turn there, looks like we top decked a White Mirror. Very good card, especially with an Angler in the grave. Angler is going to... If you don't know what White Mirror does, here's the effect right here. White Mirror basically lets you summon a fish, level 4 lower fish from the graveyard, then add the same named fish from your deck to your hand, so we can summon the Angler and then add another Angler. And that Angler can actually summon itself as well, since we do control a water monster. Very, very good, letting us go back into the extra deck with that. That is just a fantastic card. Very, very good water cards, especially for Sharks that Konami printed. A lot of people like to crap on Sharks. I don't. I very much enjoy Sharks. Sharks are a very good deck. Marincess, also a very good deck, and they're only going to get even better from what I've heard. Now, Crystal Shark's going to target the Angler to summon itself. And now it can be used as a level 4 from the deck as well. Or for a water monster, sorry. Special summoning a Silent Sea Nettle and also a Silent Angler from the hand. Making sure to special summon the Silent Sea Nettle first, because the Angler would indeed lock us from the hand. Now using the Bahamut Shark to try and go into Toad, but that Valor is going to stop it. So we're not going to have that Omni Negate that we want, but we are still going to go into another rank 4 here, probably Kragan, because we are locked into waters, or we could go into Spider Shark or an Abyss Dweller as well. The possibilities are indeed endless. Going into a Stealth Kragan now. Stealth Kragan, very good card. Tempting to pop the Nightmare Unicorn, but then remembering, oh hey, IP was used to summon it. Cannot be destroyed by card effects, as Chris points out to me. So instead, we are probably going to use the effect of Nash Knight here, detaching 2 to use its effect once again, since we do indeed have that raw 101 in the deck. Not just the C101, but the regular 101 as well. Just basically 2 targets for Nash Knight in order to use this effect twice. So, and then we're going to overlay again into CXZ's Nash Knight, but the Nash has a CH in it, not just an H. Let you know it's a C number. So it is indeed 2000. It does only have an effect on your turn, but it is just there for extra damage. Now, attacking with the Bahamut Shark, forgetting that it can't do that, and then the Kragan and the Nash Knight are going to swing. I'm only going to take off 3,900 here in post here, because Bahamut Shark shouldn't have attacked, so we're not going to add that damage to the grand total here. So he is now at 4,100 life points, and looks like we're just going to have to pass the turn off that. Drawing for turn now on Chris's side. Let's see if he top decks something that can basically get him out of this little pickle that he's in here. Looks like he top decked a Rite of LIBROMANCER. Very good top deck, I should say, especially because Frog is not, or Toad is not there to negate it. And CXZ's Nash Knight is not a quick effect, so he cannot basically interrupt. So the only interrupt that we have is the Stealth Kragan. However, the Kragan can indeed pop the token, because the token will be water whenever it's on the board. And the right is going to let him summon that token and then put a Faithful Adventure out on the board. Now the effect of Kragan is going to activate in the main phase, popping the token for 1,000 damage. Therefore, he cannot specimen the Griffin if he gets it off Faithful Adventure, because that's what we were scared of. Passing the turn, drawing, and then swinging out for game there. Sharks take the match.